P3 performance strategy, carrying on with dysfunctional consequences of non-financial performance measures. Myopia. Short-term focus on performance may have longer-term consequences. Repeat. Myopia. Short-term focus on performance may have longer-term consequences. Measure fixation. An emphasis on measures rather than the underlying objective. Repeat. Measure fixation. An emphasis on measures rather than the underlying objective. Misrepresentation. The deliberate manipulation of data so that the reported behaviour is different from the actual behaviour. Repeat. Misrepresentation. The deliberate manipulation of data so that reported behaviour is different from actual behaviour. Misinterpretation. The way in which the performance measure is explained. Gaming. An employee can pursue a particular performance standard when that is what is expected of him or her, even though he or she knows that this is not in the organization's best interests in terms of its strategy. Repeat. An employee can pursue a particular performance standard when that is what is expected of him or her, even though he or she knows that this is not in the organization's best interests in terms of its strategy. And lastly, ossification. Performance measurement can inhibit innovation and lead to paralysis of action. Repeat. The last point is ossification, where the performance measurement can inhibit innovation and lead to paralysis of action. The executive summary of control systems and budgeting. Learning outcome. Recommend appropriate measures for the strategic control and direction of various types of organizations. Recommend appropriate measures for the strategic control and direction of various types of organizations. Evaluate the appropriateness of control systems for the management of an organization. Repeat. Evaluate the appropriateness of control systems for the management of an organization. Evaluate the essential features of an internal control system for identifying, assessing, and managing risks. What you must know. The different accounting methods by which control is exercised. Emerging management accounting techniques such as strategic management accounting, lean management accounting, transfer pricing, the shortcomings of traditional budgets, value-added management, implications of value-added management on budgeting, balance between financial and non-financial measures, the beyond budgeting approach, budgetary control and variance analysis, non-financial performance measurement, and frameworks for non-financial indicators. Consequences of accounting controls. Unit synopsis. The following are various accounting methods by which control is exercised. Standard costing. Standard costing is a control technique which compares standard costs and revenues with actual results to obtain variances which are used to stimulate improved performance. Capital investment appraisal. Capital investment appraisal is a technique that considers decisions such as whether to invest in one project or one piece of equipment rather than another, and whether to invest now or at a later time. There are three main methods of evaluating investments: the accounting rate of return, the payback, and discounted cash flow. Overhead allocation. Overhead allocation is the process of spreading production overheads, i.e., those that cannot be traced directly to product services, equitably over the volume of production. Repeat, overhead allocation. Overhead allocation is the process of spreading production overheads, i.e., those that cannot be traced directly to product services, equitably over the volume of the production. Strategic thinking has created the idea of developing a strategic competitive advantage for an organization. Strategic management accounting differs from traditional accounting practices in various attributes and the characteristics of the information used. Strategic cost management uses the value chain framework in order to understand the behavior of costs and sources of differentiation. Lean management accounting is about relevant accounting, performance measurement, and control techniques to support lean manufacturing and sustain a lean enterprise. Repeat, lean manufacturing accounting is about relevant accounting, performance measurement, and control techniques to support lean manufacturing and sustain a lean enterprise. Lean thinking savagely eliminates waste within value streams. Methods used in lean management accounting include Kanban and backflushing. Repeat, methods used in lean management accounting include Kanban and backflushing. A transfer price refers to the price used for intra-company transfers, i.e., transfers between segments of a company. Traditional budgeting is currently being subjected to intense scrutiny with regards to its usefulness in contemporary organizations. Repeat, traditional budgeting is currently being subjected to intense scrutiny with regards to its usefulness in contemporary organizations. Proposals for improving the effectiveness of budgeting within organizations include linking budgeting explicitly to strategy, using activity-based budgeting, explicitly adopting a cross-functional approach to budgeting, tailoring the budget cycle to the purpose of budgeting. Tailoring the budget cycle to the purpose of budgeting. Focusing on value creation. Focusing on value creation. Balancing financial and non-financial aspects. signaling to all employees the need for continual improvement. Remembering budgeting is a human process. Repeat, balancing financial and non-financial aspects, signaling to all employees the need for continual improvement. A total life cycle budgeting system provides managers with information to understand and manage costs across the whole of the organization's activities, from research and development to customer service. Just in time has been defined as the constant and relentless pursuit of the elimination of waste, with waste being widely defined to include anything that does not add value to the product. The main management principles of just-in-time are: cut order sizes and increase the frequency of raw material orders. Cut buffer/safety stock levels. Reduce purchasing costs. Improve material handling. Seek reliable suppliers. Reduce the product cycle time, i.e., the time from customer order to delivery. Repeat, reduce. Total quality management is a management philosophy that requires the management to look at all aspects of their operations and consider the quality aspects of all divisions. Cost of quality is not recognized in the traditional budgeting systems. To operate a TQM, Total Quality Management System, a new form of budgeting which makes the cost of quality visible, is required. Repeat, cost of quality is not recognized in the traditional budgeting systems. Cost of quality is not recognized in traditional budgeting systems. To operate a TQM system, a new form of budgeting which makes the cost of quality visible, is required. Total quality management requires costs to be categorized into 4 headings: prevention costs, appraisal costs, internal failure costs, and external failure costs. Just-in-time manufacturing has major implications for budgeting in many areas. There are conflicts between JIT and budgeting principles that need to be resolved. Financial information is considered inadequate for organizations operating just-in-time production systems and total quality management. Financial information is considered inadequate for organizations operating just-in-time production systems and total quality management. Repeat one more time. Financial information is considered inadequate for organizations operating just-in-time systems and total quality management. Japanese budgeting systems commonly incorporate financial and non-financial information, especially in companies which use JIT and TQM systems. Repeat, Japanese budgeting systems commonly incorporate financial and non-financial information, especially in companies which use JIT and TQM systems. Beyond Budgeting Roundtable, BBRT, published a white paper that outlined the traditional performance management model, which was predicted on a producer-led approach with separate product lines, regions, or technologies, with each subject to the strong financial discipline from corporate staff. The BBRT model is a devolved, adaptive organization where managers have self-confidence and freedom to think differently and take fast decisions to engage in innovative projects with colleagues in multifunctional teams both across the company and externally. There are 12 principles enshrined in the BBRT model. 1. Governance. Clear purpose, principles, and values. 2. Empowerment. Freedom and capability to act. 3. Accountability for meeting competitive outcomes. 4. Organization. Interdependent, customer-orientated units. Number 5, coordination of cross-company interactions. Number 6, challenge and coach people, not command and control. Number 7, goal setting, which is beat the competition, not the budget. Beat the competition, not the budget. Number 8, strategy process, which is continuous and inclusive process. Number 9, anticipatory systems, which is inform strategy, not adjust. 10, resource allocation. Make resources available as and when required. Number 11, measurement and control. Measurement and control, which is fast, open information. And lastly, number 12, motivation and rewards, which is based on company and unit level competitive performance. The Beyond Budgeting Roundtable model recognizes 6 critical success factors arising from the changing environment. The Beyond Budgeting Roundtable recognizes 6 critical success factors arising from the changing environment. Fast response, best people, continuous innovation, operational excellence, customer intimacy, and shareholder value. The benefits of the Beyond Budgeting Roundtable model can be separated in 2. The first, Beyond Budgeting Opportunity, enabling a more adaptive performance management process. The second, Beyond Budgeting Opportunity, enabling radical decentralization. Variance analysis involves comparing actual performance against plan, investigating the causes of the variance, and taking corrective action to ensure that targets are achieved. Variance analysis can be carried out for each responsibility center, product, service, and for each line item. A flexible budget is a budget that is flexed. That is, standard costs per unit are applied to the actual level of business activity. Non-financial performance measures are indicators of business performance that are vital to a company's long-term performance. Balanced Scorecard by Kaplan and Norton and Business Excellence Models by the European Foundation for Quality Management are 2 frameworks for these financial indicators. Various dysfunctional behaviors arise as a consequence of management control systems, in particular systems based on accounting controls. Repeat, various dysfunctional behaviors arise as a consequence of management accounting systems, in particular systems based on accounting controls.